All right, if we can have appearances for the record, beginning with the state.
Christian Pasiak for the state.
Pretrial release.
Robin Guerra for pretrial release.
And for case number 22CF264 specifically, appearance for defense.
Harold D. Thompson on behalf of the defendant.
Thank you. Sir, state your name and date of birth, please.
Edwin George Sosa, 21189.
Thank you. Mr. Sosa, you've been picked up as a result of trafficking in cannabis in excess of 25 pounds with a firearm, possession of cannabis with intent to sell, deliver with a weapon, possession of firearm by convicted felon, possession of firearm ammo by convicted felon, possession of tetrahydrocannabinolus. I don't know why they make these names so long. And possession of drug paraphernalia. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Mr. Thompson, what would you like me to consider?
Your Honor, I would ask if you would consider setting a bond as to count one. I believe the standard bond schedule in that particular offense would be $50,000.
Mr. Thompson, we don't have a standard bond schedule.
I would ask if you would consider, Your Honor.
I will, of course, consider setting a bond, but we do not have a standard schedule. State, do you wish to be heard?
Your Honor, we have no opposition to there necessarily being bond, but if there is to be bond, we would ask that it be somewhat high just due to the extent of the, if you read the facts in the report, it seems that there was a money counting machine, rubber bands. It seems to be a somewhat extensive operation.
Well, more importantly, there were 243 pounds of cannabis, not just 25.
I understand, Your Honor.
All right, bond will
no-
be set on count one in the amount of $100,000. Count two, the amount of $7,500. Count three, the amount of $4,000. Count four, the amount of $5,000. Count five, the amount of $1,000. Count six, the amount of $500. Sir, you are not to possess or consume any weapons or firearms, and you're not to possess or consume any drugs or alcohol. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Thompson, anything further?
No, Your Honor, thank you for your consideration.
Have a
Thank you
great
so much.
weekend.
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year.
All right, and if we can now have appearance for defense from the Public Defender's Office for the cases that you will be appointed on.
Kimberly Whitman for the Office of the Public Defender.
I'm sorry, I could not hear you.
Kimberly Whitman for the Office of the Public Defender.
Thank you, counsel. Rolando Reynos Garcia. Oh, we need the interpreter. That one? Or do I gotta do it over there too? Okay. Call. I'm gonna call the interpreter.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Theo Leal, Spanish interpreter, previously sworn.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Leo. We have now got the headset connected in Orange County. First one up is Rolando Reyno Garcia. And it's case number, oh, I can't see. It's like 5,900. Yeah, it's a Seminole County case. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Rolando Reynoso García. 14 de enero de 1990.
Rolando Reynoso Garcia, date of birth is January 14th of 1990.
Thank you. Sir, you've been picked up as the result of a warrant out of Seminole County, FL05900G0. The bond on that is set at $2,000. If you have the ability to bond out, you can. If not, you'll be notified that you're here.
Oh, sí puedo pagar.
Yes, I can pay.
Okay, I'm just letting you know there's a $2,000 bond. And so if you have the ability to bond out, you can bond out, okay?
Ahora mismo.
Right away?
Oh, you've already got a bond on it, sir.
Ok, en la tarjeta tengo.
Okay, I have my credit card.
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a good day. Leal, if you give me just a moment, we're trying to pull out another one here.
No problem, Your Honor. Take your time.
2-4? I'll let you go. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please. M.
Edgar Mendoza, 20. Edgar Mendoza. 27 de febrero del 1986.
Edgar Mendoza, date of birth February the 27th of 1986.
All right, sir, you do qualify for the public defender's office, so they will be appointed. You have been picked up as a result of an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $3,500. You are not to return to 455 North Garland Avenue, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. You don't need the interpreter? No? Okay. Mr. Leo, I think that's it.
Very well, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too, Your Honor. Thanks.
Sir, state your, oh, go ahead and come on up when they're ready. We follow their instructions.
Sorry.
State your name and date of birth, please.
Diamante Elijah Fonseca, April 24th, 1998.
Thank you. You do qualify for the public defender, so they will be appointed to represent you. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of aggravated stalking after an injunction, a violation of injunction protection, 2 or more prior convictions, violation of domestic violence injunction by contact. There are 3 counts for that. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set on count 1 in the amount of $2,500. Count 2, the amount of $1,500. Count 3, the amount of $1,000. Count 4, the amount of $1,000. Count 5, the amount of $1,000. You're to abide by the terms and conditions of the injunction. You're to have absolutely no contact with Curasha Rodriguez Robles. No contact means no in-person contact, no third-party contact, no social media contact, no telephone contact, no contact whatsoever. Do you understand?
Yes.
Additionally, you're not to return to the value pawn. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs. Thank you. Did he do PD at all or no? So he didn't? Okay, so are we recalling him? Well, counsel, I can provisionally appoint you for Mr. Rogers, and we can handle it today if you waive his appearance, or I can recall him tomorrow.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll waive his appearance.
Thank you. Charges are aggravated assault with deadly weapon, battery, domestic violence. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there is a probable cause. There's actually a warrant. Count 1 is set in the amount of $2,500. Count 2, the amount of $1,000. He's not to return to the scene. He's to have absolutely no contact with Teresa Rogers and Angel Rogers. The no return address is 814 Mulberry Court, and he's not to possess weapons or firearms.
Your Honor, we got victims for case.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so not used to that. I'm used to them standing like right in front of me. I'm sorry. Would both of you raise your right hands to be sworn, please? Solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. Okay, so we'll start with the young lady in the white shirt. Can you state your name, please?
I'm the mother, Teresa Rogers.
Thank you. And in the black jacket?
The daughter, Angel Rogers.
Thank you. So I've ordered that he's not to return to the house. I noticed from review of the charging affidavit that it looks like you guys aren't going to be there long, but I don't think that he needs to go back. Do you disagree?
No, we agree.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted me to know?
Yes, go ahead, Angel. I want Angel to speak first about what Can we explain to what occurred? That he's been Baker Act 12, twice and different things that are occurring?
I've reviewed that. He's actually in mental health right now.
Okay, yeah, we just would prefer if he would be like on his, whatever happened, that he just gets mental help. We don't want him to just sit in jail or anything. We want him to like be forced to get help because he was on medicine and he has been diagnosed. He just refuses to take it. So it's just spiraled ever since then.
I understand your concerns. I just want you to understand that there's only so much that we can do. Once he's gone through the mental health services of the jail, it'd be up to him to seek the treatment. If he doesn't, my hands are tied. Okay, I can only require that he comply, but if he doesn't comply, then he gets arrested again and we end up doing this all over again.
Yeah, I think that's what the deputy was telling us yesterday, is that we just, it could just be a part of his probation that he has to take the medicine or he has to go to the hospital, and then if he doesn't, he just get arrested. So we just wanted to make sure that was happening.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here today.
Okay, thank you.
What's going on with Nina Clark? She did. Counsel, do you waive her appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Looks like she had been called up before and didn't show up. It's trespass on property after warning. Court does find there's probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $500, and she's not to return to the Steak and Shake. What about Richard Haylett? Are you Richard?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you state your name, please, sir?
I'm Richard Anthony Haylett.
And your date of birth?
Excuse me?
Your date of birth, please?
9/13/70.
Mr. Haylett, did you complete a public defender application?
No, I told I represent myself.
Okay, sir. So you agree that you're waiving your right to have an attorney, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, sir, you've been picked up as a result of a battery charge. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond is going to be set in the amount of $500. You're not to have any contact with Chadley Brohard, okay?
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
who's Charlie Brohart, though?
The person that you allegedly battered.
Allegedly. That means I didn't batter nobody.
What?
Oh, I'm being charged.
That means it's up to a jury to make that determination.
Okay, what's my bond?
Your charge is battery.
Battery?
Yes, sir. Kicking him, specifically.
No, I got attacked, man. It's on
Okay,
camera.
sir, I understand.
Uh-huh.
Today's purposes were just determining whether there was probable cause for your arrest or not.
Oh.
I have determined that there is. If you want to fight the case, you're welcome to, but that's going to happen in downtown, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. You're free to go. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Anthony Scott Peters, 7/25/1972.
Mr. Peters, you've been picked up as a result of a failure to appear in 48-2020 CT 3003. There is a $2,000 bond on that, sir. And you do qualify for the public defender, so they will be appointed.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, this one I have the attorneys appearing by Cisco. WebEx? I don't hear. No. I have an X. Maybe it's the BRC1 me? Might be. Because I'm seeing a lot of that.
Oh, okay.
We'll try. That's all we can do.
Welcome to an Acano meeting. You are entering the meeting now.
Okay.
You are the only participant.
Are you Miss Sullivan? All right, we're just trying to connect with your attorney, but I'm not really sure how.
Okay.
Thank you. Shouldn't be that one. It should be in here. Uh-huh. I sure can. Oh, that was the one I already tried. No, that was the one I tried. They're all the same, though. No, these are all last week. Let's see if we got. This guy maybe? Oh, this says invalid number though. Hmm. I'm not sure where he's at though. Let's see. You can find the meeting information. I don't have a calendar invite. Does he have a calendar invite?
Welcome to an Econo meeting. You are entering the meeting now.
I don't see anybody. Shouldn't I see him on there? Okay. Why don't we see if we can just get him on the phone? You have a phone number? I mean, that doesn't really help his client. is it the teleconference one? No. Counselor, are you there?
Yes, Judge, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you state your name and date of birth, please?
Nicole Sullivan, 9/11/99.
Appearance for defense?
Yes, Attorney Adam Pollock.
Thank you. Ma'am, you've been picked up as a result of trafficking in 14 grams or more of methamphetamine. Court does find that there's sufficient probable cause. Mr. Pollock, what would you like me to consider?
Judge, I'd ask that you consider a couple things. First of all, my client was aware of the warrant and turned herself in voluntarily earlier this week. She just got out of in-house drug treatment, and she's 22 years old. Her mom is her source of funding for legal fees. I would ask that the court consider reducing the bond down to something that she could reasonably afford. I would respectfully suggest that $20,000 would be a more appropriate bond in light of the fact that she's unemployed and has no other place to live other than with her mom, and she would be residing with her mom over in New Smyrna Beach.
All right, unfortunately, counsel, I'm not going to be able to do that today. You're more than welcome to file a motion and have a full-on evidentiary hearing with the trial judge so that all that information can be provided and a determination made. But the bond for today is $100,000, and she's not to possess any drugs or alcohol.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Thanks
right, is
for.
there anything further, counsel?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your
Judge,
patience, sir.
Who is the judge that it's been assigned to?
You know, I'm not sure. It looks like Wayne Wooten.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Good afternoon. My name is William Morris, date of birth January 23rd, 1978.
Thank you. You do qualify for the public defender, so they will be appointed to represent you in this matter. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of battery on a person 65 years of age or older. The court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Yes, Judge. My name is Guillermo M. Caparas, Jr.
All right, Mr. Caparas, you as the victim have the opportunity to indicate to the court what your feelings are with regard to release and bond. It is not a time to talk about what happened because that will all be determined at a later date. This is just for purposes of his release today. With that in mind, what would you like me to consider?
Well, I just want to ask, are you honored to drop the case against my son?
Well, I don't have the authority to do that. Once the police are called and someone is arrested, it's ultimately up to the state attorney's office to determine whether they're going to pursue the charges or not. Today's proceedings is simply for me to determine whether there was probable cause for his arrest, and there was. If you would like to talk to the state attorney's office and let them know your feelings about the situation, they will take that into consideration when they determine whether they're going to file actual charges against him, okay?
Okay.
But I'm not going to be letting him come home,
Okay.
okay? All right. So, sir, you are not to return to 6890 Lake Carlisle Boulevard, and you're to have no hostile contact with your father. I'm going to let you have contact, but it's to be no hostile contact. If you feel that you're getting aggravated or you think you want to act out, I suggest you remove yourself from the situation because if police are called, you are going back to jail. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
How much was the bond?
500. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Angel Carreras, 110373.
Thank you. Say that name again?
Angel Carreras.
No, that is not you. Oh. Sorry. I'm like, what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing are not matching.
Done.
There we go. Public defender is appointed in this matter. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of aggravated battery or alternatively a domestic violence. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause as to the aggravated battery. Bond to be set in the amount of $3,500. You're not to have any contact with Helen Yesenia Martin. No contact means no in-person contact, no third-party contact, no social media contact, no contact whatsoever. Do you understand? And you are to maintain separate residences. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon. State your name and date of birth, please.
Ajay Orr, 9/28/1995.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Can you raise your right hand to be sworn, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can lower your hand. Can you state your name, please?
Mariah Pearson.
Ms. Pearson, you as the victim have the actually, you're not the victim. You're a co-defendant. What would you like me to consider?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I don't understand that.
Your Honor, there are multiple victims and co-defendants in this case. She is both a victim and a co-defendant.
Oh, I didn't get that from.
My apologies for interrupting.
Oh, there it is. All right, ma'am, you as the victim have the opportunity to talk to the court about what it is you would like to see. You need to understand that doesn't mean that I have to order it, it just means that I'm going to consider it. It is not a time to talk about the case or the facts of the case. This is simply a time for me to determine what the bond conditions would be of her release. What would you like me to consider?
I ask that you deny bail. We're in a lease together, and we actually live in the same household. And if she is released, I'm afraid of what she might do.
Okay.
What else?
Well, she is entitled to bond, but I can apply certain conditions to ensure your safety, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else you'd like me to consider?
Just if I can consider a restraining order.
Well, I can't grant you a restraining order today. If you want to file one, you'll have to go to the clerk's office and file a petition for that, okay?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, ma'am, you've been picked up as a result of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon as well as battery. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there are sufficient probable causes to both charges. Count one, your bond is going to be the amount of $5,000. Count two to be in the amount of $500. You are not to return to 7526 Suntree Circle, apartment 165. If you have personal items, you can go back one time with the assistance of law enforcement to obtain your personal items only.
Okay.
But do not go back there otherwise.
Okay.
Additionally, you are to have no contact with Mariah Pearson, Carla McDade, or Carly McDade. Do you understand?
I do.
No contact means no in-person contact, no third-party contact, no social media contact, no telephone contact, no contact whatsoever, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Counsel, do you want to waive or not?
Yes, Your Honor, we'll waive.
All right. This has been picked up as a result of battery commit, domestic battery by strangulation, and aggravated battery on a pregnant person. State, in reviewing the charging affidavit, I'm not seeing the requirements for the strangulation. I see that there was a choke, but I don't see that there was an obstruction of the airway.
Your Honor, I believe based on reading the report that might be, I understand your reading of it, but I just don't believe the report is specific enough for us to figure that out. So I'd ask for 24 hours to reset that to get the officer to give us a better report so we can just find out either way.
All right, it'll be reset for 24 hours.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, for both counts. We'll just handle it all at once. Are you Mr. Clark? Can you come up to the microphone? Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Joseph Clark, September 29, 1996.
Thank you. Ma'am, can you raise your right hand to be sworn, please, as best you can? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. You can lower your hand. State your name, please.
Keisha Alves.
Ms. Alves, I know you heard me just tell the last folks that were here. You as the victim have the opportunity to address the court to discuss bond conditions. It's not a time for discuss what happened in the case. That'll be for another day. It's just specifically as to bond conditions. With that in mind, what would you like me to consider?
We share a child together, and I would like for him to be able to get out. It's just build up frustration between the two of us, so I don't think that I will be in any fear for my life or any fear for my child. Like I said, I would still like for us to have contact because at the end of the day, we still have to deal with my daughter, our daughter. So I would like for him to, be able to get a bail and get out so we can, get back on the right track.
Nate, do you wish to inquire?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Do you need me to go to the podium, Your Honor, or how can I do it from
You
here?
can do it from there. That's fine.
Okay. Hi, ma'am. Can you just what's your last name?
Alves.
Can you spell that for me, please?
Alves.
Okay. And so what is your relationship to the defendant?
It's my child's father.
What was that?
My child's father.
Okay. And you're not married though, correct?
No, we're not.
Okay. Are you currently in fear of the defendant?
No.
Okay. Has anything like this happened before?
No, I think it's just built up because we've had words before, but it has never gotten to this point. And I don't feel like I'm gonna be in fear or this is gonna happen again. Or I think it's just built up from us just going through it so much in the past time that it just happened. But I don't think that it's anything I should be worried about.
Okay. And I've read the report, but just to be clear, there were no drugs or alcohol or anything like that involved, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. And if something like this were to occur again, would you feel comfortable calling 911, getting an officer involved?
Yeah.
Okay. And so do you currently live with the defendant?
No, we stay in two separate households. I have my own house, and he stays maybe about 20 minutes away from me.
Okay. And if you don't mind my asking, what is the current custody situation with your child? Does the child mostly stay with you, with him? How often?
She stays with me. Some weekends he might get him. He might get her throughout the weekdays. He'll get her if I'm working, but we basically back and forth. But 9 times out of 10, she's with me.
Okay. And I know you mentioned it previously, but the case would still continue. It would still be pending. Are you comfortable during that to still have contact with the defendant while the case is pending?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any fears or anything when it comes down to dealing with Joseph. No.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate it. I know it's going to be difficult. Your Honor.
Counsel, do you have any follow-up questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Would you be the one paying for his bond today?
No.
Okay. No further questions.
Your Honor, we did qualify Mr. Clark for straight pretrial release. He has no priors.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be granting straight pretrial release. It'd be a $500 bond. Mr. Joseph, I am going to allow you to have no hostile contact with Ms. Alves. Do not put yourself in a situation where law enforcement is called, because if they are, you're the one going back to jail. So I've read the affidavit and there is sufficient probable cause. Don't put yourself in that situation again. You're to have no drugs, no alcohol, and only non-hostile contact with the victim. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Evan Lucky, April 25th, 1967.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of battery domestic violence. The court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $500. You're not to return to 2520 Lakeway Branch Drive. You're to have no contact with Carl's, is it Beard? No contact means no in-person contact, no third-party contact, no social media contact, no telephone contact, no contact whatsoever. Do you understand?
No.
Additionally, you're not to possess or consume any drugs or alcohol. Thank you.
Hi.
You're free to go. Good afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Jasmine Mosley.
Date of birth?
January 2nd, 1991.
Thank you. Ms. Mosley, you've been picked up as a result of battery dating violence. The court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender is appointed in this matter. You are not to return to 7-Eleven located at 319 East Princeton Street. You're to have no contact with Kiara Washington. No contact means no in-person contact, no third-party contact, no social media contact, no telephone contact, no contact whatsoever. What are we hearing?
Light bulb in this lamp here.
I don't know what that is either. I don't know what we're hearing.
Camera just turned.
Do you think that was it? No.
I saw the camera turn around.
Hmm?
I saw the camera turn around. Maybe there. It's moving.
I don't know. I've turned everything off. I don't know what we're hearing. Is there somebody there? I don't think they know they're there either.
We forgot to turn something off.
I wish I could turn it off.
Get my drift. I just want to make sure that these things, I feel bad, I would have had to bring the things and I thought it was going to cost by this time, you know?
How do we make that stop? Because it's going to interfere with the court reporting. She hung up the phone. Let's try it now. No, every time I turn it on, then I can hear them.
Right. Well, good thing I didn't bring this up, right? Right, okay. Right, so I'm gonna have to.
The problem is it's court reporting. It's going to interfere with it. They're trying to pick it all up.
I'll start. What, oh, yeah, that's fine.
Technology is not being our friend today. And you don't have a call on the line anywhere? All right, we're gonna try. Hopefully court reporting doesn't have an issue. Okay, so you understand that there's no contact?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. All right. I think I covered everything on this case then. Oh, it's pretrial release. Qualifies.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Was there a bond set, Your Honor?
Pretrial release. I knew we were missing something when we all got distracted by that, whatever that was.
Means you're gonna be released.
That means there's no bond. But you do have to report to pretrial release.
Still stay here?
No, you're gonna be released. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please. Thank you. Public defender is appointed. Mr. O'Brien, you've been picked up as a result of battery domestic violence. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Ma'am, raise your right hand to be sworn, please. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. State your name, please.
Robin O'Brien.
Thank you. Ms. O'Brien, this is the time for you to tell the court what it is you would like me to consider with regard to release restrictions. It is not a time to talk about what did or did not
Understand.
happen. So with that in mind, what would you like me to know?
I'd like you to consider releasing him on his own recognizance. I believe that even though the situation has been tumultuous, that both of us are currently in individual counseling and marital counseling. We have been married 22 years. Mr. O'Brien doesn't normally act out in the manner that he did. I think that the stress that both of us have been under is absolutely tremendous. And other than that, I can only tell you that He is on 3 different blood thinners, one of them to save his life. He has certain medical conditions, including a battery in his back to help him walk with spinal stimulators. And even though the situation is completely unpalatable, I don't believe that he deserves to remain in jail, and it is a risk to his life if he's not considered to be placed back on the medicines that he resides on at home.
All right, he's going to be released. There's just going to be conditions associated with it.
I didn't hear you, ma'am.
I said he's going to be released. There's just going to be conditions associated with his release.
Yes, I would only ask that you, so that we can, also that we depend on each other for medical transportation, and that I would hope that to continue in counseling. So I would ask that you consider no hostile contact.
All right, thank you. Sir, you do qualify for pretrial release, which means you will be released without a bond. I am going to order no hostile contact. You feel that you're starting to get a little revved up, you need to remove yourself from this situation. If you don't remove yourself from the situation, police are called, you will end up back here. Do you understand?
Your
I
Honor,
will not let you go home at that point. Yes, counsel.
I apologize. Is there any way I can ask a question of the victim?
Sure, counsel.
Sorry. Ma'am, just to be clear, you stated that this normally doesn't occur, but in the police report, they've shown, the officer stated this has occurred multiple times previously. Has this occurred before?
The police have been called on me before. We have had arguments over the years, but as far as him being physically hands-on in the way he was, I haven't experienced that with him. We've had arguments that have escalated out of control, and we've separated. I believe the charges were dropped on me. The officer that responded at the time of this incident has appeared at our house 2 separate times before over the course of the last 22 years that we've been together.
Thank you, ma'am. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Again, no hostile contact. Do you understand? Not even so much as giving her a dirty look. Ma'am, if anything happens, it's up to you to call 911.
I understand.
You understand? I'm letting him come home by your own request.
I understand.
Which means if things escalate, there's not much I can do about it at that point.
I understand.
All right, thank you. Somebody just hung up. Finally. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Sorry?
State your name and date of birth.
Jose Ruben Rodriguez Alaman, July 4th, 1987.
Thank you. Whoever that is on the line, can you hang up, please? I really don't know who that is. I mean, they're having a great little party, whoever it is. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of battery, domestic violence, as well as resisting officer without violence. You do not qualify for the public defender. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause for both counts. Bond to be set on count 1 and the amount of $500. Count 2 will be a pretrial release. You're not to have any contact with Ruth Suarez. No contact means no in-person contact, no third-party contact, no social media contact, no telephone contact, no contact whatsoever. Do you understand?
I do.
It's a yes or no. Do you understand? Thank you. You're also not to possess any drugs or alcohol, and you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you. To the attorney? Let's see if maybe. Give me just a moment, ma'am. We're trying to figure out what's going on around here. Sir, do not be communicating with her.
Oh,
Not allowed.
I didn't know that, sorry.
Thank you. Well, let's hope. Good afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Mary Ellen Rollins, 4674.
Thank you. Ma'am, you've been picked up as a result of battery domestic violence. The court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there is sufficient probable cause. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Sir, raise your right hand to be sworn, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You can lower your hand. State your name, please.
Russ Rollins,
And Mr. Rollins, how are you associated with this matter?
that's my wife.
So as the victim of this case, you have the opportunity to express what your desires would be with regard to release restrictions. It is not a time to talk about what did or did not happen. That'll be at a much later date, but we're going to be focused on release restrictions today. Keep in mind that I am not required to do what you ask me to do. It'll all depend upon my determination, okay?
Mhm.
What would you like me to consider?
Well, please let her come home. It was not something that she was not herself. This never happened before. It's not something that is normally, that's not her.
State, would you like to inquire?
Just quickly, Your Honor. Have you ever had any other alcohol-related incidents with her?
No.
None whatsoever?
No.
Has she ever struck you before?
Never. No.
Do you feel safe around her?
Oh my goodness, yes. I love her, yes.
Okay, and if something like this were to occur again, you'd feel comfortable calling 911 if it did escalate?
Sure, but yeah.
Okay, nothing further, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. She qualifies for pretrial release. Ma'am, there will be absolutely no hostile contact. Not a dirty look, not a raised voice, definitely nothing physical. Do you understand?
Ma'am.
If police are called, and they could be called by him, they could be called by a neighbor, they could be called by anybody. You're the one coming back to jail. Do you understand? You're also not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs. Do you understand? Thank you. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Okay.
Afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
I'm Algie Lamont Alexander, 11/1975.
Thank you. Mr. Alexander, you have been picked up as a result of driving while license revoked as a habitual offender and providing false ID to law enforcement officer.
Yes, ma'am.
Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond on count 1 will be set in the amount of $1,000. Count 2, the amount of $500. And the court will not be taking any action on 21 MM 7858.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Good afternoon. State your name and date of birth, please.
William Asencio, 6/20/1985.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed to represent you. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of possession of methamphetamine and possession of fentanyl. The court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there is sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set on count 1 and the amount of $1,000. Count 2, the amount of $150. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs, and you're not to have any contact with the co-defendant. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Freddie Brown, 03/20/2001.
What's your name?
Freddie Brown,
Oh, what happened to Michael Beckman?
Would the booking number help?
2200539.
Bond it, Your Honor.
Okay. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of aggravated assault with a weapon. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that actually, it's an arrest warrant. Probable cause was previously determined. I concur with it. Bond to be set in this matter in the amount of $7,500. You're not to have any contact with Anika Harris, Charles Wade, Patrick Laster, Damon Streeter, Dexter Moore, or Wayne Daniels. Do you understand?
I have a question.
Yes, sir?
I don't know none of them people but Anika. Anika's the only person I know. The rest,
I'm sorry, you need to speak into the microphone.
I said, I don't know none of the people but Anika. Everybody else, I don't know. Nobody.
All right, well, whether you know them or not, you're not to have any contact with them, okay? This young lady can explain that to you.
And Your Honor, he has the open resistant without violence, 2021 MM 8752AO.
Yes, ma'am, I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
okay.
take any action on it.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I just wanted to answer his question first.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Orlando Colado, bonded, Your Honor.
Orlando Collado? Thank you.
Julius Cooper, also bonded.
Okay.
And Cedric Conde, also bonded, Your Honor.
What about Alejandra Cortez? 2200530?
Bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
My name is Dexter Antonio Reyes. I was born August 31st, 1966.
Thank you. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Public defender is appointed to represent you. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there is sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set on count 1 in the amount of $1,000. Count 2, the amount of $500. You're not to possess or consume any drugs or alcohol. With regard to 21 CF 9016, court will be revoking your ROR and setting bond in the amount of $1,000. Thank you, sir.
Kiana Fillmore, bonded, Your Honor.
Who?
Kiana Fillmore.
Oh, Fillmore? Okay. Big stack.
Marcus Henry refused.
Marcos? Henry refused. All right, we'll take him out. That one wasn't there. Sir, what's your name?
Xavier Kegler.
Oh. Hold on. Henry bonded? Oh, you refused, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, can I have my post-it note? Yes, ma'am. So Marcus Henry will be resetting for tomorrow. All right, so you're Mr. Kegler, born 11/15/78? Okay. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Bond to be set on count 1 in the amount of $1,000. Count 2, the amount of $500. You're not to return to the scene, and you're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Can you tell me what happened to Fountain 220000532?
Bonded, Your Honor.
And Gonzalez 220000544?
Bonded, Your Honor.
Thank you. Just making sure we don't miss anybody. State your name and date of birth, please.
DeAndre Miles, 12/14/01.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you've been picked up as a result of resisting officer, obstructing without violence, carrying a concealed weapon, unlicensed firearm, an escape, prisoner escape, or attempt escape. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set as follows. Count 1, $1,000. Count 2, $1,000. Count 3, $5,000. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Kadeem Wright.
Can you speak into the microphone?
My name is Kadeem Wright.
Okay. So you're Kadeem Muhammad?
No, my name is Kadeem Wright.
Okay, thank you. Public defender is appointed. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of possession of heroin and resisting officer without violence. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set on count 1 in the amount of $1,000. Count 2, the amount of $100. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs. Additionally, you've been picked up as a result of a no valid driver's license. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $500. With regard to 21 CF 18565, court will be revoking and setting at 0. Thank you. Oh, wait, we have more. 21 CF 1339. Oh, 13339. There's 3 threes. Court will be revoking and setting at 0. Thank you, sir.
That's not my name.
I know.
I'm in jail with somebody else's name. All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a good day. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Yes.
State your name and date of birth, please.
Roberto Pagan, December 25, 1968.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of burglary of a conveyance, grand theft 3rd degree, criminal mischief, dealing in stolen property, and false verification ownership to a second-hand dealer. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. It's also set forth in the warrant. Bond to be set as follows. Count 1, $3,500. Count 2, $150. Count 3, $150. Count 4, $150. Count 5, $150. You're not to return to 7002 Alvina Way. You're to have no contact with Ingrid Samioa and Kevin Samioa and Kevin Vasquez. You're also not to return to the Value Pond. Thank you.
Clifton Robinson, bonded, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. You can speak into that microphone and state your name and date of birth, please.
Kevin Gerard Will.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of possession of cocaine. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $1,000. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs, okay? Thank you. Afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Carlos Sample, 11/16/75.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of battery on a uniform or licensed security officer, resisting officer with violence. There's 2 counts of that. I'm sorry, resisting officer with violence, resisting officer without violence, and trespass on property after warning. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set on count 1 in the amount of $5,000, count 2, $300, count 3, $200, count 4, $200. You're not to return to the scene. Thank you, sir. You get your paper? There you go. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Davis Walkowski, 5687.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. Court has reviewed the warrant. Sufficient probable cause was determined. Bond to be set in the amount of $5,000. Thank you. Afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Jason Thompson, 7679.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of grand theft third degree. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $1,000, and you're not to return to the Tommy Hilfiger. Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Amber Vargas, Cancerous, June 15, 2001.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Ma'am, you've been picked up as a result of possession of methamphetamine and possession of fentanyl. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set on count 1 in the amount of $1,000. Count 2, the amount of $150. You're not to possess or consume any drugs or alcohol. With regard to 21 CF 8802, court will be revoking and setting at 0. Thank you.
Your Honor, this was related to another case earlier in Asensio. Can the state ask for a no contact with Mr. Asensio? I believe that was the term we also had with the Asensio, no contact with her.
I believe there were actually 3 defendants in the car.
Is it 3?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, there were multiple defendants. You're not to have any contact with anyone that was in the car. Do you understand? You don't understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You do understand. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Wallace refused, Your Honor.
Well, we will reset Ms. Wallace for tomorrow. And if she refuses, we will do it anyway.
The other people were refused also.
We will recall her tomorrow. Dorothy Worst. Okay. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Devontae Lamar White, October 2nd, 1995.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of possession of cocaine. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $2,500. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs. With regard to 21 MM 8972, court will be revoking and setting at 0. Thank you.
And your public defender will have to file a motion, okay?
Afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Matthew Wolford, 102186.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. You've been picked up for possession of cocaine. That is pursuant to a warrant that was issued. Court has reviewed the warrant. I concur with the finding of probable cause. You're not to possess or consume any drugs or alcohol. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond to be set in the amount of $1,000. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
How you doing? My name is Willie Wright, October 19th, 1992.
Thank you. Mr. Wright, public defender, is appointed to represent you in this matter. You've been picked up on multiple charges. There's possession of firearm by a convicted felon, carrying a concealed weapon by a convicted felon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 counts of possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. Oh, hold on. 7, 8. 8 counts. Carrying a concealed firearm, possession of cocaine with a weapon, possession of cocaine, possession of cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set as follows. Count 1, $4,000. Count 2, $4,000. Count 3, $4,000. Count 4, $4,000. Count 5, $4,000. Count 6, $4,000. Count 7, $4,000. Count 8, $4,000. Count 9, $4,000. Count 10, $4,000. Count 11, $1,000. Count 12, $50,000. Count 13, $1,000. Count 14, $500. Count 15, $500. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you, sir. Sorry. Afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Jessica Joran, January 22nd, 2003.
Ma'am, you've been picked up as a result of a failure to appear on case number 21MM1331. There's a $1,000 bond on that, and the public defender is appointed to represent you. Thank you.
You're $1,000 bond. And you, I know someone puts that bond. You've been appointed.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
James Dusick, 0627, 1983.
Thank you. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of a warrant for a failure to appear on 2010 CT 549. Bond is set in the amount of $3,000. Thank you.
Mary Huntington, PTR, Your Honor.
Huntington, he bonded?
PTR, Your Honor.
Oh, he's PTR. Okay, thank you. Okay. On both? On both cases?
What's that?
Luckney Prevail?
What's the booking number?
He bonded on both cases?
What's the booking number you on? Yes, oh, wait, well, one more moment, and extra zero. Bonded,
On both. Okay.
yes, Your
I
Honor.
don't want to leave
On
anyone
both.
behind. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Yamil Ayala, 9/25/86.
Okay, we lost one. Public defender is appointed. This is Yamil Ayala. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of petty theft with a prior theft conviction. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $500. You're not to return to the Walmart. As to 2019 CT 4831, the court will not be taking any action. Thank you. Can you tell me what happened to William Smith, 2200524?
Bonded, Your Honor.
Thank you. Oh, I don't want to write on this stuff. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Afternoon, ma'am. Lance Burridge, 12/20/1994.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of criminal mischief. The court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $500. You are not to return to 4373 South Texas Avenue, number 111. Do you have personal items there, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You can go back one time with the assistance of law enforcement to obtain your personal items, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Paul Clark, mental health, Your Honor.
Paul Clark, mental health. We'll reset for tomorrow. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Lavares DeMonte Foster.
All right, sir, did you not want the services of the public defender?
Yeah, I signed it. I signed paper.
Sorry, they just haven't gotten it to you. Don't call me baby.
Huh?
Don't call me baby.
No, I didn't say it, baby.
No, he didn't say that.
Okay, I guess I misheard.
Okay.
All right, you do qualify for the public defender. They will be appointed to represent you in this matter. I apologize, it just wasn't with my paperwork yet, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you've been picked up as a result of trespass on property after warning. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $250. Mr. Foster, you are not to return to 605 West Colonial Drive. That's the 7-Eleven, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
It's Visadine Henry, ma'am.
Name and date of birth.
It's Visadine Henry, 3283.
Public defender is appointed to represent you. You've been picked up as a result of trespass on property other than structure or conveyance. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $250. You're not to return to the Sitco Gas located at 1112 North Cimarron Boulevard. With regard to 21 CF 13078, the court takes no action.
Cornelius Smith, refuse, Your Honor.
What happened to 22000523?
Let's see. Bond it, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith has refused. Yeah, we're gonna reset to tomorrow. What about Justin?
Behavior, Your Honor.
Behavior. Reset to tomorrow. What stack is getting big? Good afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Walker, 12792.
Thank you. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter. Ma'am, you've been picked up as a result of trespass on property after a warning. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there is sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $250. You're not to return to 540 Oak Street. With regard to 21 CF 11757, the court takes no action. Thank you. Afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Yes, my name is Sidney Bastian. Date of birth will be September 21st, 1989.
Thank you. You have a PD app for him or no? Oh, they're out of county, that's why. Sir, you've been picked up as a result of out-of-county warrants in 21 CF 2648 for Osceola County. Both of them have 0 bond. Are these a duplicate?
Yes.
Oh, they're, okay. All right, with regard to your 21 MM 243, court takes no action. Thank you.
Rebecca Griffith, refuse, Your Honor.
Well, Ms. Griffin is here on out-of-county warrants from Seminole County, both of them with zero bond. Court will not be taking any action on 21-8627.
Concerning Ocasio Medical, Your Honor.
Right, Mr. Ocasio is here on out-of-county warrant from Lee County. There's no bond on that, so when he's available, you can notify Lee County. Afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Melanie Soto, January 8th, 93.
Ms. Soto, you are here today on an out-of-county warrant from Osceola County under 21 MM 615. There is no bond on that warrant, ma'am. They'll be notified that you're here and ready for pickup, okay?
Okay, I was wondering if I could get a bond.
No, ma'am.
And also, I wanted to let you know that the injunction that I supposedly violated.
Ma'am, it's best not to talk about things that may or may not have an effect on your case.
It's expired, though. There's no injunction anymore.
I'm going to leave it up to you. If you want to talk, you're welcome to talk. I just want you to know that everything you're saying is being recorded and it can be used against you.
Say here.
You're here on a no bond warrant. Yes, ma'am. Afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Rebecca Yvonne Agosto. My date of birth is November 3rd, 1964.
Thank you. Ma'am, you've been picked up as a result of violation of probation in case number 2018 CF 18188. There is no bond on that.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nina Clark, refuse, Your Honor.
Who?
Nina Clark.
Again? Counsel, do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's a trespass. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit and find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond to be set in the amount of $250. He's not to return to the Wawa located at 8574 South Orange Blossom Trail. Sir, state your name and date of birth, please.
I can't hear, ma'am.
State your name and date of birth.
My name is Raymond Dennis Belcher, 1864, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Belcher, you've been picked up as a result of a violation of probation. There is no bond on that, sir. Public
didn't really hear
defender
what
is
you said, no.
appointed.
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, you got two?
No bond. Okay.
Is that on both of them? No. He has another case too. It's a petty theft and a trespass. Court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond on count 1 is $500, count 2, $100, and he's not to return to the Wawa.
I have no money. I'm homeless.
I understand, sir, but that's your bond today. Thank you.
What were the bonds? I'm sorry, Your Honor.
500, 100, and no return to Wawa.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all.
Afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Michael Madison,
Date of birth?
7763.
Thank you. Mr. Madison, you've been picked up as a result of an alcoholic beverage open container. It's a city ordinance. State, are you doing the typical offer on this one or no? Where it's a credit time served and court costs?
Yes, Your Honor, that's what I was going to say.
You want to talk to him about that real quick?
Sure.
$220 what? Really? Wow.
Your Honor, Mr. Madison would like to accept the state's offer.
All right, can you have him do the plea form real quick, please?
Sure. Is there one around here? Oh, could I get one in English? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's something you can file with the police department. Have you read this? Have you signed a plea form before? Okay. Right here.
I wouldn't do this if I wasn't the one here tomorrow. Yeah. I wouldn't reset them all.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Sir, if you would, please raise your right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. You can lower your hand. Sir, I'm holding a plea form in my hand, which appears to have your signature on it. Do you recognize it?
Yes, I do.
Did you read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Do you need any additional time to speak with the attorney before moving forward?
No, I don't.
Is anyone forcing you to accept the state's offer today?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs?
No.
Do you suffer from any mental health illnesses?
I do, but it's not affecting me.
Okay. So we've got no concerns about entering this freely and voluntarily. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Based upon the court's review of the charging affidavit, I find there's sufficient factual basis to move forward. Sir, I'm going to find that you are alert and intelligent, that you're entering into this plea freely and voluntarily, and the court will accept it. The terms of the plea are 1 day in the Orange County Jail with credit time served of 1 day and court costs in the amount of $273, which includes the public defender fee. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
You have 30 days in which to appeal. If you need the services of an attorney, you can apply to the court. If you qualify, one will be appointed to you. Good luck to you, Mr. Madison. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, withhold. Oh, it's 2 days. Oh, it's 2 days? You got 2 days? Oh, 2 days credit time. I just assumed it was one. I just told him what they were. He can set up a payment plan with the clerk's office in 90 days. How about that? Do we not have Ruth Suarez?
Bonded, Your Honor.
She bonded. Huh? And we are fresh out of defendants, correct? Court will be in recess until tomorrow.